This week in movies. Oh, I'm just laughing because of The Last Jedi, or Return of the Rise of Skywalker. The trailer came out yesterday, and it's no big deal whatsoever, and that's why it's funny. I was very excited to watch the trailer, the same way, as I said before, you'd be excited if somebody announced that somebody who died that was close to you was coming to dinner. You'd be excited at first until you're like, wait a minute, they're dead. Right? Oh, mom's coming to dinner. Oh boy. And then wait a second, she died. And of course the trailer gave no information whatsoever because there's really nothing there. It's just visuals and bullshit. So it was a very uninteresting trailer. I can't even comment on it because it's just so boring. The more interesting thing than the actual Rise of Skywalker movie is what everybody's saying about it. All the fandom menace, as they're called. For example, they're saying that it's really weird that the TV show The Mandalorian is coming out before The Rise of Skywalker. It's coming out in November, which indicates a lack of faith in The Rise of Skywalker. Or that, though the movie's only 6 weeks away, they're still doing reshoots. They still have to film 75% of it because it's that bad and they're that worried about it. And they got 6 different endings that they're still trying out because they're so panicking. Disney's so panicking over the idea that this movie's going to be a big letdown and it's going to dollar investment. This movie not just has to make the rest of the previous movies look good. It not only does it have to wrap up this trilogy in a nice bow, a pretty bow. It has to also allow for a future. It has to get people hyped for the. So I mean, imagine having to have a great ending which is also open-ended. It's hard enough to do one of those things, let alone both of them. Oh, and it has to bring its fandom back from the dead. That's another hard thing to do. Now for another train wreck, there's the Watchmen show. So The Watchmen was a comic book which is considered to be one of the best works of literature of the last 100 years. Incredible, maybe the most successful comic book of all time. So I went into it thinking that this was they were making a TV show out of The Watchmen. Only to find out that it's like a sequel. It's like The Watchmen Part 2. That's some arrogance. Somebody decided they're going to make a sequel to The Watchmen and make it a TV show. And I was cluing into it as I'm watching it. The first half an hour is all black characters. And it's all racism. It deals entirely with racism. And probably some misogyny. After I found out that it's not even based on the work of the creator, Alan Moore, I just stopped watching it. And I'm not going to watch the rest of it. But what struck me was the hypocrisy of them acting as though black people are the only minority. The only kind of racism there is, it's against black people. I mean, black people have by and large been accepted by pop culture. We've got billionaires like Jay-Z and Will Smith. I mean, they're largely accepted, certainly compared to Asians or Indians, Middle Easterners, or especially natives. I mean, the natives have got to be they got to see it as such hypocrisy. It's disgusting. The natives have still gone without any kind of representation or respect. Meanwhile, it's just black people that you can be racist against. That's it. They're the only minority. Natives don't exist. The attempted genocide against natives by the Europeans. That's not very important, right? Yeah, I could name 100 famous, successful, even current black artists. But can you name one successful, famous native person? Or even Asian? I mean, you have to think. Or Middle Eastern. The only Middle Easterner who's successful is the guy who's in that Mr. Robot show and played Freddie Mercury. Also, Martin Scorsese. I don't know if I've already addressed this, but Martin Scorsese said that comic book movies are not cinema. And then all these people like James Gunn commented back defensively that it's still art. And then Francis Ford Coppola said that comic book movies are despicable. And I think it's first of all funny because Martin Scorsese and Francis Ford Coppola are very low art as far as I'm concerned. Martin Scorsese doesn't write anything, and none of his movies are even fiction. They're basically documentaries, most of them. I may have already said this in a previous thing, but Robert McKee, who wrote the Bible of screenwriting, said that Martin Scorsese and Steven Spielberg have nothing to say. And amen. I've always thought that. I think his movies are boring, unoriginal, not creative, And, whatever, he's a good cinematographer. So I think it's funny because it shows how stupid... It's funny that Martin Scorsese thinks that what he's doing is art, and Francis Ford Coppola. But it's also funny that James Gunn wants to think that what he's doing is art too, because it's not. It's a joke. I mean, think about the scene in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 where Rocket Raccoon's like, "Oh my God, your name is Taserface." Okay, Taserface. And that's supposed to be deep. It's the lamest. The jokes are very poor. It's pop bullshit. It's bubblegum. Bubblegum is not gourmet food. Another reason that comic book movies are not art, or they're low art, is that, okay, when I saw Endgame, I'm like, holy shit, that's a masterpiece. Like, it made me even doubt my own ability to write because it was so perfect. But then I think about this. The screenwriters of Avengers Endgame were drawing on over 50 years of material that was already written by other people. So all they had to do was take the best of it and use it. So they're not like the creators of the story. Not only that, they're not even the creators of the cinematic characters in the story, because those cinematic characters were already created by other people, such as in the movie Captain America created Captain America. Guardians of the Galaxy created the Guardians of the Galaxy. So the screenwriters are already writing characters that exist and have been established from material that there's over like hundreds of comic books featuring them. And that's one big reason why it's low art. Another reason is that it's not really, like Ford Coppola said, there's no real profound comments being made. However, Coppola and Scorsese never make profound comments either. So I don't know where they're coming from. They've really got their heads up their ass if they think they're doing anything profound. There was nothing profound in The Godfather. And Apocalypse Now was based on Heart of Darkness, I think was written by Joseph Conrad. So he took somebody else's book. Furthermore, Apocalypse Now was so close to being a failure. It was like accidentally good because everything went wrong. And it was largely a big mess, I think. It accidentally was successful. Anyways, on the subject of shitty art, I'm going to move on to some really awesome horror movies I've seen recently. And yeah, they're shitty art, but they're fun for what they are, and they're much more entertaining than this crap, than The Godfather. And in fact, they're much more profound, which is pretty hilarious. So the first of two I'm going to talk about is Mercy Black. This is one of the best horror movies I've seen in a while, maybe a year. It's about a girl who gets out of the psych ward that she's been in for like 10 years because her and a friend murdered one of their friends over a ritual that they did to bring to life a creature that they made up called Mercy Black. And the movie deals with the question of whether Mercy Black was ever real or it was in their head or they were just crazy. Now the movie's scary, fun, and you don't know where it's going to go. It surprises you. And I would say that the question of like whether it was real or not is, well, it had me thinking more than The Godfather did or The Wolf of Wall Street. I don't even know what those movies were about. I don't think they were about anything. They were just about, like, Godfather was just about, okay, you're going to be the next Godfather. And, we kill people. And Wolf of Wall Street was just about a guy who's an asshole. The other one, which I saw yesterday, is called The Cleansing. And at first I wasn't interested because it was like a period piece. It took place like in the time of witches. And I thought it was going to be pretentious. Well, the movie wasn't particularly profound or anything, but what was great about it was it's just showing how these women were burned as witches because the guys couldn't nail them. They wanted to have sex with them and they got rejected. Or at least that's the joke that I got out of this. I don't think it was a comedy, but I was laughing. Like, so the guy, the minister, he kills this girl's family. And then he says to her, he's like, okay, look, you're going to get, like, killed as a witch. But if you want, like, you could be my wife, and then you won't get burned as a witch. And, I'll take care of you. And she spits in his face. And I'm just laughing because I'm like, you're a loser. Like, she would rather die than date you. All drowning her, and then he's like, okay, stop, let's lock her up again. And then he goes back into her jail cell. He's like, okay, look, like, seriously, I'm gonna get you killed. Like, you just have to be my woman, and you'll be free. Everything will be great. and I'm such a nice guy, I'll take care of you. And she spits in his face again. And then he's so fucking funny, but it's all straight, like it's not a comedy. And then he's about to kill her. They put her on a cross. Before then they make her hold this like burning hot like thing, like piece of metal, and her hands are getting like, and she still won't talk. She won't. So she's so defiant. Like, and I mean, talk about female empowerment. Like that's how you do it. Then he's got her on a cross, and he's about to like kill her like the next day. He's got her lying there, standing there on the cross, hanging there on the cross. But some woman frees her, and she runs away. And then the next day, the town, they're all like, okay, well, the witch ran away. That's good. She's gone. So, problem solved. And the minister's like, no, we have to go get her. And what a wonderful, I wouldn't say analogy, but example, maybe the best example of how men are willing to treat women like garbage and even kill them. Out of their own vanity because they can't get them. Like, she's just not into you, buddy. Can't you let it go? No, I'm not going to let it go. There's no reason why she shouldn't like me. I'm a great man. I mean, she must be a great sinner and a witch if she doesn't like me, because I'm hot, right? Like I'm all that. I'll list a few more movies and then I'm basically done. A few more horror movies that I thought were really good. One of them was called A Dark Song. Another one was called The Dark, and that was really deep. Much deeper than anything Scorsese or Pord Focola put together could ever make. Have a nice day. If you like gays, click like. If you like blacks, comment. If you like women, click notification bell. If you like gay women, subscribe. And if you like gay black women, Patreon, Human Warnings, give me money.